Hello, and welcome to episode number 29 of the Marriage Coach Podcast, where we are here to help you take your relationship from surviving to thriving.
Today on the Marriage Coach Podcast, we're going to be discussing making every day Valentine's Day.
So we were talking about Valentine Day. We were talking about the importance of Valentine Day and what it represents now to relationships, to even it's been expanded to friendships.
Right.
But we know that Valentine's Day is a day that is set aside during the year for people to express love, to express appreciation, to express admiration, to acts of kindness. People oftentimes give their loved ones or people that they love or their friends gifts, or they spend special time with candlelight dinners and things of that nature. And it's a very, very big holiday, especially in the United States.
Right.
Statistics tell us that
Right.
over 6 million couples get engaged on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Statistics also show that over 200 million stems of roses are given as gifts on Valentine's Day.
Wow. I mean, so that definitely explains on how important this day is for a lot of us. And what we want to discuss on today is how to turn this day not just into one day of the week, but how to make every day Valentine's Day. Because I believe this is very important. This is very important to relationships.
Yeah.
In order to have a successful marriage or a successful relationship, it takes more than just one day, to express love and sharing those special moments and making memories, not just on Valentine's Day, but doing it every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because oftentimes it's easy for us in relationship to get caught up in the hype of the day,
Yeah.
and maybe we're not doing those things in our relationship on a regular basis,
Wow.
but we look forward to this one day a year where we're doted on, where we receive all these expressions of love, flowers delivered to our jobs. We're getting rings or getting proposed to, or we're showing each other that we love each other. But the idea today is what our relationships would look like if we were intentional about making every day as special as Valentine's Day.
Wow.
I believe Valentine's Day is important to so many people because, first of all, it's about how it makes us feel.
Yeah.
So on Valentine's Day, you often feel love.
Yeah.
You often feel appreciated that the person that you're in relationship with went out of their way to do something kind for you. They are going out of their way to express the love that they have for you.
Right.
They are doing something that is important to you. They may give you your favorite chocolate. So it's the way the day often makes us feel that makes it important. And also, a lot of times gifts are some of our love languages. So it's an expression that this person cared about me, they thought about me. Or if we're dating, then you chose today to mark this special day to say that you want to spend the rest of your life with me by asking me to become your significant other, or by asking me to be in a committed relationship with you. Oftentimes people get married on this day because this day is known as the day of love, a day of caring, a day of kindness. I mean, you do special things. So oftentimes your love tank is filled to the moon on this day.
Yeah.
So you're filled up with the idea that someone loves me and they did this special thing for me. They bought something special for me. They thought about me. They went out of their way to let me know today how I matter to them and what I mean to them, what our relationship means to them. And I think that's why the day is so important.
I remember back when I was in elementary school. I mean, Valentine's Day was huge. When I was in elementary school, it was people I didn't like.
You still gave them a Valentine.
I gave them a Valentine.
You
Still
had
got
the
a
brown
Valentine
paper
card.
bags with red and the white
Right.
hearts on the front,
Right.
and you went dropped one in everybody's bag.
Yeah.
And it was like even that kid that you wouldn't normally play with on the playground, you gave them a Valentine, a little sucker, and it's like, hey, happy Valentine Day.
Right. And can you imagine that person? I know it's not you, but can you imagine that person on the job? I'm serious that nobody really like, nobody really want to deal with. But on Valentine's Day, I mean, they even passing out or bringing the baked
Cookies,
cake.
cupcakes,
They
yeah.
bringing cakes and putting it in the room, and they even showing love, and that's not even in their character. So this day does something special, and I think it is so important for us not just to focus and allow a
Yeah.
day to
Yeah.
make us who we are. Instead
Yes.
of one day being special, you making every day special.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that's great. That's a great idea. And it's something that you and I talked about this a few years ago.
Right.
And being that Valentine was coming up and we were getting ready to record a podcast, we were like, hey, let's do this because it is what it does for relationships is in many different ways, it can take the pressure off
Yeah.
of this one day being special because you're intentional about
Mm.
making random days
Yeah.
special. You're intentional about making every day special, even if it's just a quality time, 10, 15 minutes a day with your significant other, asking them how their day went, loving up on them, a special touch. So when you become intentional about making every day special, no, this is not about trying to give your spouse a gift for 365 days of a year. This
Yeah.
is not about breaking your budget and your bank to try to give roses
Yeah.
every day. This is about being intentional. We had a podcast before, we talked about the little things,
Yeah.
but those little things add up, and that's what makes your life special, your relationship special. And I can recall certain things that you've done for me and certain things that I've done for you that was for any day, just
Yeah.
out of the blue. On a
Yeah.
Friday, I came home to something laying on the bed for me. On a
Mm.
Saturday or a
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah.
we take a trip and it's just me and you driving to the snow cone place.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, a little bitty thing can go so far. And if we're intentional about these things, it creates habits. And now we're living in this fullness every day instead of just one day. And it's nothing to take anything away from that day
Yeah.
because we still want to love on our each other. We still want to express love to each other. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do that. Continue to celebrate this special day. But we're talking about an extension of today,
Yeah.
extending through the other 364 days of the year
Yeah.
that you're with the person that you love and making it special.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if you do Valentine's Day once a year right now, focus on doing it once a month. And
Hmm.
once you get the once a month down pat,
Yeah.
focus on doing it once a week.
Right.
And just taking those small steps and just doing a lot more. And what I mean, even with Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day is a huge day. I'm talking more
It is.
money. I mean, Amazon. I mean, all these shopping places. I mean, they have flowers and roses all on the corner.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about putting yourself in the position where you're spending money or buying $1,000 gifts every day or every week. I'm talking those moments of just spending time together, those moments of having a nice dinner, those moments of going to the
Yeah.
park, those moments of
Yeah.
having a picnic.
That's it.
I mean, or walking the neighborhood. I mean, whatever. I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, somebody may say, well, I don't have a park in my area. I mean, you have a neighborhood. I don't have,
Mhm.
you live in an apartment, walk the apartments. Personally, my wife and I, we don't personally celebrate Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate Valentine's Day because every day is Valentine's Day for us. When we first got married, well, the first year we got married, Valentine's Day I was in the military.
Yes.
I was in basic training, AIT training, before I got to active duty. But the following year, I remember the same thing. I mean, this Valentine's Day, okay,
Yeah.
it's time to shower each other. And I remember we went out to eat.
With couples. We talk about it all the time,
Yeah.
every year when we have a conversation. Because I remember we first got to the restaurant with the couples we were with, and there was like a hour and 30-minute wait. Then it turned into a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
Then when we finally got in the restaurant, they had to, all of us wanted to sit together. So they had to squeeze us in this spot together. And then the waiter comes and they begin to take your order, and you want to order this, and oh, we're out of that. Oh, we're out of
Yeah,
that.
it
Oh,
was
we're out of
horrible.
this. Oh,
Yeah.
we're out. And we end up eating something like everybody's eating burgers and fries
Yeah,
and
something we didn't. Nobody
chicken
wanted.
strips.
Yeah,
And it's like we came to this big seafood place for, I did remember that I wanted seafood
yeah,
and I ended up eating like a burger
yeah,
from a kid's meal.
yeah.
And it was like we went home and we talked about it. And for us, it was in the very beginning. The next year we made that decision. We were like, we're not going to do this again.
For the last 20 years, we haven't celebrated
No,
Valentine's Day.
not at
No,
all. And it's not, and not to deter anyone else from
no.
doing so. Do whatever works for you and your relationship. But what we want to share with you is something that has been good for us.
We're talking about making everyday Valentine's Day.
Hmm.
So, what's number one?
Number one would be make every day special.
All right, unpack that.
To make every day special, it means that you are intentional about doing something special for your significant other every day. I came home from church and Cedric bought me a pair of headphones that I wanted. They were on the bed. They
No,
were just there. I've come home from work and there was roses and a bear on
no,
the dresser.
no,
I've different things. I'm into all kind of things. He's ordered me stuff from online, t-shirts or whatever it is, just little bitty things. And it's not like I'm coming home to, a 40 carat diamond ring, but those things I still have today. I use these headphones every day. And every time I open them up, I think about my husband bought these for me.
mm,
I said what I wanted and he bought them for me. I looked like I wanted them because I don't even remember saying that. I just had this look like, oh, I want some of those. And I probably did say that. But just the thought of it. The
no,
the roses that I received that day, they died, but I still have the bear. The bear is, I still can look at him and remember, oh, my husband just gave this to me for no reason at all. And I think that those things matter a whole lot more because you remember that there was nothing else attached to it. It
no,
wasn't about posting it on Facebook. It wasn't about showing all my coworkers that I got roses. It wasn't about impressing anyone. It was just about the love that we share for each other. And even with that, it was beyond, more to the fact that it wasn't even supposed to be a special day,
no.
but it turned into something special.
I believe this is something I think it'll be great for, all relationships to just really focus and just love, just love, making it a part of your life, making it a part of your daily routine, your daily activity. I mean, you're thinking, and you're thinking about, okay, what can I do special
Mhm.
for my significant other? What can I do special for my husband? What can I do special for my wife? What can I do special for my friends? What can I do special to show people that I love you
Mhm.
on more than just this one day, February
Absolutely.
14th?
Well, I even think that things that you've done for me on a regular basis, like, babe, what can I do today that would help take some things off your load today?
No,
Thinking about, okay, my significant other, we both have this to do list. We both have a life. We both
right.
have, I mean, we have a life together and then we have things we're doing.
No,
And you may have this list of things. I've oftentimes had this list of things I could accomplish. And you've always said, there's been times when you tell me, like, babe, what can I do to help you to lighten your load today? And those things are just, I mean, that's more special to me than even receiving a gift because
no,
it's like, oh, wow, oh, I'll pick up the kids. Oh, I'll go get the laundry. I'll go get the cleaner stuff, the stuff from the cleaners. Oh, I'll pick up the groceries. Just send me a list.
no.
Acts are all types of things that we can do. And I think these things on a daily basis, on a regular basis, definitely make your expression of love mean a whole lot more because for everyone, we've talked about this on the love language podcast, for everyone love looks different.
Exactly.
And for one person, you may think that you're showing your significant other that you love them because I bought you roses, I gave you flowers, I gave you a ring, I gave you a necklace, I took you out to eat.
No.
And that may express love to you, but that's not what expresses love to
Yeah.
them.
The other couple like, man, I want some time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want some
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I don't need no roses. I want some time with you.
Idea that has been sold to us is the idea that has been bought. And it's not taking anything away from special days, not at all.
No,
We're just saying go beyond that.
no. All right. So what's number two?
Number two is do what works for your relationship.
The first time we did it, we did Valentine's Day based on the idea
Mhm.
that we were taught that this is what you're
This is
supposed
what
to
you're
do.
supposed to do. What I would say for me, and this is truth and honesty,
Mm,
even when we were younger, we talked about our relationship being different.
right.
We talked about what we did not want
Mm,
and what we did want.
Yeah.
And we were young, and I didn't even realize the importance of these conversations. But when we had the conversation and we were talking about, I'm like, you were like, did you have a good time? Like, I'm like, no.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's like, why would we keep doing this? And initially, your mind is like, well, you're supposed to,
Yep.
you're in love. You're supposed to go to dinner. You're
Yeah.
supposed to buy bears. You're supposed to stand in these lines and wait for it. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Then it's like, why am I
Yeah.
supposed to do? And as we continue to talk about what we want, what I want, and what we want is more of me spending a special time with you. And I'm like, I'm good if we spend every Valentine's Day on the couch together
I
watching TV.
remember
I'm
that.
good.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about when you did that, it was so liberating.
Yes.
It was so
And there
liberating. It
was
was
it
like
removed a lot of pressure
it did.
because
I
the
remember. I remember the feeling.
when you were in basic training, I was like, I got to run around and try to find something
Yeah.
to send to him. Then the first year we were together, we ran around all day getting prepared for this evening that turned into a flop.
Yeah.
And not that it's some for other people it goes off without a hitch, wonderful, great, awesome. But
We just sharing our
for
story. We
us,
sharing
it
our story.
removed that
Yeah.
pressure. So every year, people have asked me this throughout the years. What is your husband going to get you for Valentine's Day? And I always say, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. And people kind of look at me like,
Like taboo.
yeah, it's like, oh, he don't want to celebrate. No, we
Yeah.
don't
We
celebrate
should. Yeah.
Valentine's Day
Yeah.
because when I say that, is not a pressure for me to have to try to go do something grand on this day because I can pick any day of the year
Yeah.
where the restaurant won't be crowded and we can go to a nice dinner. I can choose any day of the year and he could come home to something that he likes,
Yeah.
something that he loves, something that he
Yeah.
appreciates, something that he wants
Yeah.
or something that he needs, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. So what that the turning point was early on in our marriage, but it was because we both said, what do we want
Yeah.
versus what everybody else do? And for me, honestly, that's been a lot of things in our marriage. Even
Man.
when it
Yeah.
comes to birthdays,
Yeah.
anniversaries, all those things, it's been what do we want?
Yeah.
What do we want? And
Yeah.
I say to everybody,
Yeah.
even listening to us today, I encourage you to take a look at what works for you
What do?
two.
Yeah.
What do you guys want? Do you want to go to a hotel and just spend the night with each other and be in a secluded place where you're loving on each other? Do you want to stay at home and I cook dinner for you? If the wife normally cooks dinner, then tonight is going to be honey's night. Maybe we're doing a candlelight dinner at home. Maybe we just watching Netflix and chill, whatever it works for you. So you definitely have to look at what works for you. You don't want to be the person that is impressing or pressuring or expecting a person to get you need to give me roses, you need to have me flowers, this need to be delivered to my
Yeah.
job. And
Mhm.
if I don't get this, oh my God, this day is ruined.
And that's the crazy thing. I didn't seen people. I didn't seen happy relationships go sour based on this day.
And I've seen the exact opposite. And there's no shade, no
No point.
whatever
Yeah.
thrown to anyone. But I can recall that I know someone specifically and I experienced, there was drama and trauma already going on, but then Valentine's Day, we're at work and this big huge delivery comes. And it's like, oh my God, oh my God. But then the very next day, we're back to the same drama and trauma. And it's like, I've asked myself this before. I've posted it on social media before. People like it, but nobody is giving any answers. But the question for me is in your relationship, isn't it better or wouldn't you enjoy it more to live the life that you sometimes want to share with people? So I want this idea of sharing that I got roses, that I got a bear, that I got a ring, that I got whatever on Valentine's Day. But wouldn't it feel a whole lot better to live that way every day,
Yeah.
to be more focused on living that way every day?
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I just and it's kind of it's a really sensitive
Yeah, because I
conversation,
don't want anybody to.
and it's real sensitive because we're kind of talking against the masses.
I want to say this.
Yeah,
Why you thinking? Dave Ramsey said something about finances,
yeah,
and we've shared this in Financial Peace. Dave Ramsey says, "Live like no one else, so that you can live like no one else.
Mm.
And for us, that's what we've decided to do.
Yeah.
And we're sharing that because this is the Marriage Coach Podcast. And what we decided on the Marriage Coach Podcast is that we would share with the world what works for us. And it's up to everyone that listens what works for them, what they can use, what they can implement, what they can shape and form for them. Because even what we just talked about, purses, I love accessories. And I don't want to say love because that's a word. I like accessories. I like
Yeah.
handbags. I
You
like
love them.
shoes.
You
I
love them.
love them. I do. And those things, in the beginning, I used to be, and this will go with what we're talking about. In the beginning, I felt like because of society, because of what I was taught was supposed to happen, I always felt like I want this, and I'll take a picture of it. I'll pick it out. I'm telling you to the T what I want. Now the job is for you to go and get it. Well, that kind of takes the thing out of him seeing that I want something, or seeing, oh, my wife had a glimmer in her eye and she wanted that, and I'm going to get it for her just on a regular Friday, or just on a regular Wednesday or a Monday. And so that also changed the way that we give gifts,
Yeah.
because I'll buy myself a purse, shoes, and I'll tell him, oh, this is my gift from you. And he'll be like, oh, I did a good job.
Yeah.
And some people may think that's weird.
Yeah.
Some people have a difference of opinion
Yeah.
about that, but that works for
Yeah.
us.
Man, it's like you get what you want, because I can get you something. And my thing, if I buy you something and you're not using it, it's like a waste of money.
Mhm.
I know the whole thing, the thought, it's the thought that count, but it's for you to get it, and the thought that you're using it counts more than it's sitting in the drawer or behind the closet.
Yeah, yep, yep. So we took a whole nother turn,
Man, listen.
huh? We took another turn, but that's the Marriage Coach Podcast,
Yeah.
because what we're trying to do here, and we keep saying this because we want everybody to understand what we're trying to do here is share our lives with you, share what works for us, share what has worked, what is working for us, and we realize that just like Dave Ramsey say, our job, our idea is to live like no one else so that we would live like no one else.
Yeah.
And that's not only in managing our finances, that's in managing our marriage,
Yeah.
that's in living our marriage, that's in living our day-to-day life. Our goal is to live like we grab what Dave said and we take it by the horns
Everything.
and
Yeah.
we apply it to everything. We want to live like no one else
Yeah.
so that we can live like no one else. And we want to do what's good for us, what makes us happy.
All right. So what's number three?
So number 3 is focus on the little things.
Wow. Unpack that.
So you focus on the little things and you're intentional about them. And what makes me happy is I love the fact that he'll pay attention to something and I told him I like it when he cooks. So he does more of that now.
Yeah.
He's been doing more of that. I told him that I like it. I like to be surprised. He's not necessarily a surprised person, but I like to be surprised. I said, "Oh, I need this or need that for work. Oh, this would work better if I say something in
Yeah.
a conversation and he
Oh, I'm
pays
listening.
attention.
I'm
He
listening.
pays
Yeah.
attention and he buys it. And for
And,
it could be a little adapter for a charger or something. And for someone else, that's like, oh, that's just a charger. And those things to me, and it's just me, I appreciate them even more than me cutting out a picture and say, hey, this handbag is what I want. I
yeah.
mean, for someone else, it may be different,
Yeah.
but that's the road that we've taken, and that's what worked for us. But the most important thing, little things, be intentional about acts of kindness. Be intentional about expressions of a love to your significant other, to the people you're in relationship with, to all the time.
Yeah.
Don't just wait for one day.
Yeah.
Don't just wait for Valentine's Day. Be intentional about doing it all the time. And just like he said, if you've been doing it once a year, then try once a month, try once a week. Then, do something small every day.
Yeah.
Little love notes, sexy text,
Yeah.
a slight touch of the hand, telling your wife you're beautiful, telling your husband, honey, you look sexy. Honey, you look good in that suit. Honey, this, honey, that. Whatever. So just something, do something small.
Yeah.
Don't think about grand gestures. That's fine. They are good too. You can do those as well.
Yeah.
But focus on some small things that you can do.
Yeah.
Focus on things that you can keep up every day, things that you can do every week to make your significant other feel special for the other. We're not taking away Valentine's Day. Don't we not say it for anyone to say, oh, they bashing no, enjoy Valentine's Day. But let's make the other 364 days
Yeah.
just as special.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If we're more intentional about the little things, it'll help us make sure that everything is good
Yeah.
instead of looking like everything is good.
Wow. That's it.
Head down in the comments and let us know what you and your significant other do for Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining us today on the Marriage Coach Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment, and share the video. If you enjoyed the information you heard on today, give us a big thumbs up. If you're listening on iTunes, rate the podcast and leave a review. That helps us get the word out. Head on over to our leadership podcast, Lead to Greatness, where my husband is interviewing leaders and entrepreneurs all around the world every week.
We want to thank you so much for joining us today on the Marriage Coach Podcast. Looking forward to hanging out with you again on next week as we continue to help you take your relationship from surviving to thriving. Bye. See you next week.